Hi. In this video clip, I'm going to share with you the continuing story of me not receiving my 2020 tax refund. And I'm sharing it with you because I can guarantee that this is not only happening to me, and I'm hanging in there like a trooper, but I'm going to share with you a conversation I've been having with the caseworker that's on my case investigating a federal agency. That was my complaint. This federal agency, they're not doing their job. I should have received my 2020 tax refund by now because we all know what the problem is, but it's not getting rectified. Before I share the conversation with you, I took screenshots to protect some private information, but show you proof of what's going on. I want you to know that over the years, I didn't have a financial education years ago. And since in the past, especially 3 years, that's all I've focused on. I know I'm setting myself up for a much more relaxed lifestyle because I won't be so panicked about my finances and about my health insurance. So years ago, I paid out of pocket, not knowing you could write that off, and I paid an accountant to do my taxes for years. And nobody ever told me that that's a write-off. I don't know if it was years ago, but I was paying top dollar, and I even saw doctors who made me feel bad. I was young, that I was actually showing some self-care. That's another story that I nipped that in the bud. Evil eventually get caught. The truth came to light on its own, and smarter people caught on and understand what went down. So, with me, as the years went on, we'll fast forward to at least 10 years ago. I opened up a New York.gov account, and I would reapply every year for my insurance. I'm fine with that because your income might fluctuate, or your jobs might change, whatever the case may be. I do everything a la carte. And it got to a point where I needed to learn how to do my own taxes. I needed to learn everything going down. I needed to be the person doing all, the paperwork, all what I need to do to take care of myself. And I'm explaining this to you because anyone who has any knowledge in this niche of health insurance in today's world, I'm going to use form numbers, and somebody might question, why are you on that? I feel I've been in transition for so long that on paper, I look damn poor. The IRS knows what I do for a living, and they also know what I invest in because I have to claim it. I have to put that on my tax returns. And they also know the crypto that I own. For the past 2 years, I've had to claim my crypto. So I'm in a transition stage for a long time, but I'm here to tell you that the less you have on paper, the better care you get. And I experienced it hands-on. And I'll get more into that in a little bit, but I'm going to share with you the conversation because it's ridiculous at this point that I'm struggling so hard to prove who I am just so I could get what's rightfully mine. And it's not fair. Here we go. After I reached out to Congress, this is the first email I received. Dear Ms. Caesar, please provide a signed and dated copy of your tax return along with the health insurance documents you provided to IRS so we may include this in our inquiry. I was so happy, so happy. Then I wrote, hello, I attached the forms and the privacy forms to this email. I will also be faxing a copy of the forms too, because I wanted a backup to make sure someone on the other end received it, because they won't reach out and tell you they received it just to tell you they received it. I'm writing to ask my senators and district representatives for help. I'm a taxpayer who is still waiting for her tax refund from 2020. The IRS did contact me to inform me that my health insurance information did not match their records. On June 28, 2022, I faxed over my health insurance information. I'm still waiting to receive my 2020 tax refund. It's now 9/19/2022, and I have not received my 2020 tax refund. I created an ID.me account to confirm my identity. I did so, guys, because I joined Facebook groups to people who are still waiting for their tax refund checks, and I'm following their lead, and many of them said I reached out to Congress, and a month or two later they finally got their tax return, their tax refund check. I needed to sync up with people in the same boat that I'm in. When I signed into my .newyork.gov website to check the status of my tax refund, the message tells me that my tax refund is still being processing. I was hoping to learn if there's anything else I can do. And then the next one is, thank you for reaching out and helping me. I attached the signed and dated copy of my tax return along with the health insurance documents I provided to the IRS. I'm going to get into that in a moment. At the start of 2020, I was put on Essential Plan 1. The New York State of Health told me my insurance switched over to a 1095B form. In the middle of the year, everyone, that's very important. This all changed in the middle of the year. Then they write me back, can you please provide a copy of your 1095B? I was told I did not need to receive one, which is true, because when you receive a 1095B, the New York State of Health sends that form directly to the IRS. They don't send it to me, and it is not in my NewYork.gov account in my inbox, where everything else I need I have, but not this form. When I spoke with the New York State of Health, they told me they would mail a copy of my 1095B, even though I was told I did not need one. I never received it. That is 100% true. When I got on the phone Friday, I'll share that story in a moment. I signed into my New York State of Health account. I see the 1095A template. However, there is no 1095B template in my inbox. At this point, I don't know what else to do. I don't have a copy of the 1095B. Just now, I called the phone number on the forms attached. The call does not connect and does not ring. That's happened to me dozens of times in the past year. I tried several times. Again, I don't know what else to do. I attached the template showing my insurance changed. I'll talk about that in a moment. And the last one is, I finally got through to the New York State of Health. The representatives, and it took 2.5 hours. I will share that story in a moment. The representatives tried to request another copy of the 1095B. The computer systems would not accept the repeated requests. I was told to write a letter to the New York State of Health to request another copy of the 1095B form. The information below shows the letter I am sending to the New York State of Health. When I receive the 1095B form, I will email you a copy. Hello, I'm requesting another copy of my 2020 1095B form. And there's my information. When this started, I was calling regularly, trying to find out why I never received that one form. I have everything else. And why isn't that form in my NewYork.gov account, but everything else is in my inbox? I shouldn't have to reach out to someone else. I should be able to sign into my account, go to where I need to go, and open up the templates. But that one form is not available to me. For some reason, I'm not privy to it. I'm told that the New York State of Health, from the New York State of Health people, all of them have said the same thing to me. Every representative who has helped me since the start of this said, you don't receive that form. That goes directly to the IRS. So I handed in, because now this is a perfect example of why I'm really grateful that I'm learning how to do my own taxes, because there is a discrepancy, and I really understand what went down. I was told in the middle of the year, do what you're doing. You don't have to do anything, not knowing that I shouldn't have sent in that 1095A form when I did my taxes, because the New York State of Health sent the 1095B form to the IRS on my behalf. They do that. So that's the discrepancy. We get it. But if no one's going to send me that form and I have no access to it to send it to the caseworker who is investigating this situation, my hands are tied. How can I move forward? I can't. So, Friday comes, this past Friday, I see the email that they sent me Thursday night at 7:30 at night asking for that 1095B form. I open it up Friday, I go, oh my goodness. So I send them the communication, I have all of those. Just, stuff in the mail that says this plan was discontinued, you're not paying this money anymore, you're put on this essential plan one, this will start November 1st, and I've been on that for like a year. And I have all of that. So I sent it to them in the email. I just didn't show that in the video because it would turn this video into a 2-hour video. So I took care of that. Now let me share more with you. What happened was my insurance changed in the middle of the year. That I remember. What it is, they're claiming that because of the plan changing, switching in the middle of the year, they sent me the paperwork telling me you are now at the start of November 1st put on this plan. They're claiming that I was on a 1095B form for the whole year, which that's not true. Half the year I was on a 1095A form. Do you hear me? I understand what went down. But if I don't have access to that form, and that's all I need to submit it to the caseworker so they can move forward with this, it's never going to match. That's very unfair to me because I'm sure I'm not the only one this has happened to. I just want my money at this point. I want it to come to an end. I don't want to enter 2023 worrying about 2020's nonsense. So I understand what went down. So I mailed that letter to the New York State of Health because Friday, I've been in touch with them. I've tried to contact them. I've been disconnected with them. Friday came. Here's the deal. When I saw the message on Friday, it was right before I went to go get new tires. I tried twice to get through. The call would not go through. I shut down the phone. I try again. The call won't go through. It won't connect. So I finally get to the tire place. I have a lull that I'm waiting. I try again. I get through. The phone rings. It starts with the prompts. Press 1 for English. I pressed 1. I did this twice. Another language came up. Then I had to talk to the woman. I'm going to do another video about that. Now, fast forward an hour. I go to my mom's house. I tell her what happened. I say, can you mind if I try again? I try in front of her at her house on the phone. I get someone on the phone. And 10 minutes in, after confirming my identity and getting everything set up so she can move forward with the request, I get disconnected. We do it again. The woman calls back. We do the whole schmeal again. Get disconnected. My mother's like, oh my God. She's witnessing what I've been dealing with for a very long time. I'm not making it up. She goes, use my landline phone, Michelle. I get on the landline phone. That started about 11:30. I was done with the phone call at 10 to 2. Put me on hold, minimum, between both representatives at least 15 times because they kept getting back on going, are you still with me? I'm looking into this. I'm trying to figure out why. They were both trying to figure out why because I was dealing with one person that transferred me to someone in a higher tier to take care of it because her system would not allow her to request another copy of the 1095B form that I never received. They don't want to send it out. They won't allow the people on the other end to perform the task to complete the request to send me a 1095B form. So now a higher person is trying to help me on another system. And she does the same thing. And she's putting me on hold and coming back every 3 to 5 minutes. Are you still with me? I'm really trying to figure this out. And she finally got to a point. And she said, this is what you're going to do. And are you taking notes? Write this down. I am requesting a 1095B form. That's it. Nobody needs to know the whole story why I'm requesting it. She goes, you're going to include your name, your date of birth, your marketplace ID, I have Fidelis ID, and whatever else you saw there. That's all you're going to do. You're going to sign it, you're going to date it, you're going to mail it. I actually had to mail it to Albany, and who knows how long that's going to take. They'll get it, but it might sit on a growing pile because they claim they don't have enough workers to complete all the tasks in an office. I requested that form in June, and they didn't send it out until July 7th. So that should give you an indication it's going to take at least a couple of weeks. I am hoping, praying, that I get my tax refund from 2020 before Christmas at this point. And I don't know what else to do. There's nothing else I can do. If nobody believes that, I mean, maybe the caseworker don't know that the New York State of Health sends that 1095B form directly to the IRS, not me. Okay, I'm going to share a couple of more things with you, and I'm going to give you a couple of shout outs to channels, but I'm going to share this story, and I think you're going to find it beyond interesting, and it should give you a warning to what's going to come if you don't learn to take care of yourself. Before I share a story with you to help you understand that if you don't take action to take care of yourself, nobody's going to take care of you for you. When I was at my mom's house on her phone, she had to switch the phones because the phone was dying. I didn't want to get disconnected again. That's how long I was on the phone. So I hope mailing the letter old-fashioned way in an envelope. I made sure they stamped it. I made sure they put it in the bin. I walked in, to make sure that it gets there. Okay, I'm going to share a story with you. When I was gigging a lot, and I was still driving my 2007 Ford Focus, I delivered food to a rehabilitation center, a local area. It was a Jewish facility. And when I walked in, I thought to myself, this place is kind of shady. This is a healthcare facility? Really? This was about a year ago. So I get to the room. I knock. Guy goes, come over, over here. He was on the other side of the room. The person in the other bed was really cool. She was like, it's okay, it's okay. I walk in. I go, I'll get that for you, sir. I brought the table over. He was situating himself, sitting up. He goes, I want you to know, never send your family here. I'm like, oh, man. He goes, no, really. I was a cop for 30-something years. He said he was a police officer. And he goes, this is the health care coverage that I worked for. Don't ever send your family here. This is pathetic. And he continues to tell me why he feels the way he does. And I listened to him for about 5 minutes, and I didn't mind. And he sensed, wow, this one's not minding listening to me. And I asked him, why are you here? He told me there's something wrong with his legs. He's here rehabilitating, and he told me about his family a little bit. And I pulled the table over. I even sat on the bed. I mean, I'm not a wuss like that. And I'm like, yes, sir, because I feel all these life experiences of other people, they're teaching me. But he was very gung-ho. You do not want to send anyone to this facility. So, that's just a perfect example of why I'm going to give some shout outs to other channels now. I feel the middle class is getting wiped out. I'm showing you an example of, I know what the lowest tier receives. When you are on paper and you show that You really, I mean, even though I own a home, but I live very little. There are so many people out there. The middle class is wiped out. It's coming. It's going to be completely wiped out very soon. You're either going to be very poor and you're not going to have a choice of the care that you receive, but at least you'll receive some kind of care. But you will be in a government-run facility, and they're, in my opinion, not what you would want to live your last days in, or last chapter of your life in. You want to at least be in your house or in a great facility. I've delivered to facilities as a food delivery person and to the wealthy several times. I've been inside the buildings, and it's like a mini city. Street signs, it's upbeat, they're getting great care, they got freedom, there's beautiful carpeting, the wall, I mean, everything about it is top of the line. And then I deliver to this guy who's in a facility, and the first thing he says to me is, don't ever send your family here, and this is why. And I was a cop for 30-something years. Okay? You're either going to be poor or you're going to be wealthy, and that's my goal. Like, the IRS knows what I hold. And I plan on having many choices in the second half of my life of any health care that I expect, that I feel I deserve and I want to receive. There will be no middle ground, guys. You're either going to be told this is it and tough shit, you should have planned better, or you're going to be very wealthy and you're going to have anything that you want. Well, I'm putting myself in that position. So I'm not lying to anyone. I'm not playing unfair. I'm not taking any shortcuts. I'm trying to better my life for the better. And if I didn't wake up when I did, if I never ended up in that hospital, putting other people's needs above my own, and working, my last job was the eye-opener that I needed. People will, ooh, and you go down, so you get less. You will do, I was struggling. And I said, I'm not giving up on my dreams and hopes, all for a mediocre job. Because it's not going to get me anything later on in life. It's going to make me struggle. I'm really happy I woke up. It could have been any company. You know, I think back and I go, I can't believe I wasted a few decades. I started very young working for people. I started working at 11, putting their needs above my own. But that's how I was raised. So I did it. At least I have something to show for it, but it's not enough. You will live with less than, and you will continue to have less than. You got to put yourself in a stronger position. Middle class is going out. Me living like this here, I'm going to give some channels a shout out, and I'm going to play one little part of a video from this guy that I watch. He's in the real estate business, because he says it in about 30 seconds how I feel about the building I live in. I hope this video helped you guys, because the channels I'm going to give shout outs to, they keep telling people like us, you got to get prepared or you're going down. You're going down and you're going to have less. Here we go. Shout outs to channels. And I'm going to end it on that note because the video is way too long. Here we go.
So I moved in, I had nothing. I just had a suitcase and moved in. But anyhow, back then, in 2008, when I moved in, guys, I was paying $1,000 a month to rent this place. 1 bed, 1.5 bath, with a parking spot. And as you can see, it's right on the beach, and even had a partial ocean view from the balcony. And fast forward to today, the units in this building now are renting anywhere between like $2,200 and $2,400. That's insane, because I can't imagine paying that much to live in this building, especially considering it's not that nice of a building, guys. And not much has changed since I used to live there. That's the reality. And this $280,000 selling price of the unit I used to live in is pretty much on par with what a lot of the other units are selling for right now. So, I mean, when you think about it, that's a pretty good price for an oceanfront 1-bedroom in Miami these days. But now look what's going on, guys. You know, this is something that everyone has to think about if you're looking at buying a condo or just even a house, guys. But, you know, sometimes the deal can be too good to be true. And I'm sure the current owners, or the past owners that were my landlords here, they probably had no clue that this was coming. I'm sure a lot of people didn't know this was coming. Sometimes when you have a really good deal like that, it's for a reason. And you see a place like this with low maintenance fees. This place has had decades of deferred maintenance, and now it's finally catching up with them. You know, a lot of people get scared of buying a condo that has high maintenance fees and stuff like that. But when it's low, this is what happens, guys. This is the consequences. Let's see what the sticker says up there. I mean, even all this is all exactly how it used to be when I lived here, guys. This old crappy gate, everything like that. Unsafe building.
I watch this guy often, and I know he's in Florida, but he speaks about buildings a lot. He's in the real estate business now. And that's how I feel. I know units in my building have sold, and their selling point is low maintenance, low bills, low cost of living. Well, yeah, when you walk up to the building, it looks like 1975, 1980, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. And that's why I'm lucky enough that I'm transferring a lot of my stuff to my mom's house. I've been doing it slowly. I already have all my important stuff out of here. My crate with all my important paperwork. Everything else can be replaced. I live very minimal, and I already got a lot of my little keepsakes out of here, and I will continue to do so. Furniture you can always replace, no big deal. I live with so little. I will lose a couple of beds and a couple of recliners, a table. I would hope that I have this laptop with me when the time comes. But I feel something like that's going to happen, because I feel one day I'm going to walk up and I'm going to be told you can't enter the building. I'll give other shout outs of channels that I watch that they speak about how you got to get prepared, how the middle class is already being wiped out, and you learn a lot. I've mentioned this guy before, the economic ninja. He's dead on, this guy. Go check him out. Clear value tax. He's another one that tells you exactly what's going down. It's cruel what's going on in the world today, and how people who are not getting prepared and they've been living off of credit cards and credit, and they're already behind, they're going to become more behind like that, because interest rates are going up, because their minimum payments are going to rise. They're never going to get out of the hole. They're always going to be forced to stay in the hole. Stephen Gardner, he's another one that he really cares about the people. You should check him out. I've been watching him again, and he knows exactly what's going on. You'll learn a lot. Gregory Mannarino, he says it all the time, and you know what? He's one of dozens of channels that I watch. He said, he's right. When you live it, sharing my health insurance story with you, it's just another example of how a law-abiding citizen who continues to pay her way, not take any shortcuts, do what's expected of her, and it's still wrong. It's still going to get me less. You got to change the way you think. The assistance that you receive, it's your money. We're always going to be in debt, this country, unless a new financial system, enters society. Visit Digital Perspectives. He did a great video today. Ripple XRP, Visa patents, USD Fed note. Check it out. Visa patents a new US dollar. And this guy, his name is Michael Bordano. So I could go on and on. I could continue to give example after example after example, how if you're someone who's just not changing anything and thinking that everything's going to be okay, I could tell you that it's not. Oh, a lot of people will cry like friggin' babies if they ever had to live the way I've been living. But instead of waiting, I've been taking action. Because when this all plays out and the old system crashes and the new system enters, I'm going to be one of the new multi-millionaire/billionaire. You watch. I'm waiting. I'm in it. But then they're making it hard. I'll see you soon. Have a good one, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned a lot, and I hope it motivates you to stand up for yourself. Keep at it, because there has to be a resolution. I'll see you. Bye.